Hello everybody and welcome back to today's Friday stream. We have a good special experience planned actually. We're going from Poland, Warsaw. We're going to be flying down to Macedonia, so this will be nice. A very exotic and luxurious hotel and holiday, I'm sure, for the Poles. And we've also got the standard ZeboMod 737-800, but I've downloaded the Polish LOT airline livery, so I'm looking forward to this. I've had a quick fly in it before yesterday, and obviously it's the same plane, but I've made a few modifications inside, so you can see those when I go in the cockpit. The actual livery itself is very nice, it's very clear, it's high quality details, it's high definition decals as you would expect, and best of all, it's completely free, so there's absolutely no obligation to pay for it. Welcome into you in YouTube, welcome in to anybody watching this on replay. Hello, find us. Ready indeed, yes, ready indeed. Very good to see you in here early on as well. I was looking forward to this flight. So estimated flight time today has been put on, I've put 2 hours, I think it's like 2 hours 20 minutes. Let me just change that, 2 hours 20 minutes. And I think that's actual overall time, that's not air time. So yeah, in terms of the livery, very good, no issues with it. One major issue, okay, so maybe I'm not telling the entire truth here. One issue is the pushback doesn't work, so I've tried to use better pushback. I've just downloaded the most recent update for it, so I'm hoping it works. But when I tried the pushback on this particular livery, it didn't succeed. Unfortunately, it didn't. It just kept glitching out and turning itself off. So let's hope it does it. So in terms of our walk around, we've done that. Give it a quick walk around now, but yeah, you can see Polish Airlines, nice blues and nice whites. This is the 2023 livery from the European Games, that's very cool. And then down here, Ministry of Sports, Olympic committees, and then another place or company here. I don't know what that's actually called. Mala. If I said it in English, it'd be Mala Polska, but the L is pronounced differently, I believe. So if you're Polish, of course, Dzień dobry. Welcome in. Maybe you can help me out. So yeah, walk around's pretty much done. We have got a few details here on the back of the plane, which are very cool. Not necessarily livery specific, but Zebo specific indeed. You got a nice static port there, which is open. Obviously the APU thing was open as well. Yeah, so it's quite detailed, the airplane in general. You go under the side of the landing gear. I mean, that's not that's not the greatest undercarriage. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, that just disappears into nowhere. I thought there was a bit more detail than that. There might be a bit more detail on the default version, but the Zebo mod doesn't really have it. You have the wheel well, and then there's a few tanks, I guess, and a few indications of tubing and wires and whatnot. Anyway, going back out to the engine. So the engine's looking good. We don't need to panicking about that. Let's walk through it. There we go. Engine's clear. And let's hop in. So since I'm the captain, I'm going to take my time. This is a long flight, and I'm going to show you around the cabin. So as the cockpit doesn't really have any logos inside, I've checked for the logos. In fact, while we're here, let's just see the batteries and emergency lights. Let's get the IRS. Now ground power's on, so let's get the IRS aligned while we can. Let's do a few checks of speed. Okay, they've passed. It's very cool actually to be able to do it from this position. I mean, in real life you could do it from here as well before you sit down. You could take your time to do some of the startup while standing up. Of course, check behind the seat and things, and check the storage and the baggage and loading bays. Although ground crew would probably do that. It's your job to do it as the captain as well. So yeah, as you can see, there's not much room here to maneuver around the plane. This is very accurate. There's not really much space here to get inside these seats, and it looks, when you're sitting in the seat, it looks massive, but actually it's very, very small, and you can see that once you've stood up. So there's very little room there. Even if you push the seat way back, you sort of got to struggle and put your legs across and things to get in there. Very cool, yeah. So that's pretty much that check done. What does that say on there? Something about being in the upright position. Forward 3 inches of travel. Anyway, going to the cockpit to the cabin. There's a standard little bay here for the drinks and foods and the staff. But let's have a look at the seats. So standard seats, and then you take a look at the back of them. They do have a very cool LOT Airlines display screen there with LOT planes on them. So that's very cool detail. It's just the seats are the same minus the screens. You go into the back here now. One big sort of glaring issue is the fact that it says Boeing 737 MAX. So this is not the MAX aircraft. Whoever designed the livery, just be aware that it doesn't. The Zebo mod isn't the 737 MAX. It's the 737NG. So it's a newer generation model. It's not the MAX model, which is not very. It's not actually as widely flown as people might believe. So yeah, and also there's no. I don't think there's any screens here. No, so they've taken the screens out. If you got first class or business, whatever that is, and obviously there's separate areas, you've got TVs, and then if you're on the first row here, you've got TVs, but that's it. There's none there, and I think that's it. Everything's standard. They've just reversed and changed some of the colours. There's nothing any different at the back, so let's just teleport forward. Let's get started. So we've done a bit of quick talk around of things. Let's do some of these checks. Get that check before we do the APU one. All lights and systems. Yeah, everything's working. 20 degrees outside, so let's give everything a check. Now, let's go back to some of the details on the aircraft cockpit that have changed. It's not something that I've personally added in using code or anything like that. It's included. I've just simply turned them on, but it's very hard to find them. So you'll find them in the tab in the settings, customizing figure, and you'll be able to change the display of the cockpit. So what I've changed is I've added a announcement in use, personal announcement in use, PA in use there. So when the captain's speaking or the member of the cabin speaking, cabin crew, this PA in use light will illuminate. The call light will illuminate, of course, when there's a call. The cabin ready will also illuminate when the cabin is ready. So it's very, very cool. It is a nice cabin finder. Welcome in. So these 3 lights here, I actually think they add like so much more realism to the aircraft. And just a reminder, go on to settings, display and variant, systems, and you can change on the systems and variants page all of the details of the cockpit, and that's very, very cool. So now we checked anyway, we checked the lights, we checked the APU fire system. Let's fire up the APU and get started. IRS is on schedule, 4 minutes. That's sort of why I'm walking around, just giving it time to load up. So estimated cruising height today is 36,000 feet with cost index of 23 with 140 souls on board, including ourselves and cabin crew. We are LOT 203 today. Call sign is LOT 203. Nothing exciting. Arriving at LGTS, Macedonia, Thessaloniki, and alternate airport is actually quite far away, so if we make a choice, we make the choice to go to the alternate, it's in Athens, so I don't fancy that, it's quite far. Okay, I've downloaded the sim brief, let's get it loaded in. You don't actually have to wait for the IRS to load your flight plan in, which is very cool. Let's go ahead and recall the data. So flight plan, there is number 1. Company route. Now, fingers crossed, it's actually loaded in. Anyway, I'm missing something very crucial. I haven't even put the bloody fuel or passengers in yet. So let's get this in, excuse me. So you want quite a lot of fuel, 10,757 kg. Help if I put it into the, how do you get off that? Into the fuel section. Passengers and cargo. So 140 passengers, 3,389 cargo. Let's activate it. Let's get the plane loaded up and get out of here as soon as possible. Now today, not going to be using VATSIM. The reason is because I've had some issues with the pushback. Although the plane looks absolutely beautiful, the livery looks beautiful as well. It has had some issues pushing back, and the the Voltex Plane 12 pushback is also playing up a little bit as well. So fingers crossed it's working. It is such a beautiful looking plane, this. I mean, I was flying it a lot last night, and just adding those like extra liveries and things really accentuates some of those fine lines. So yeah, predicted runway. What predicted runway have we got? So it's given us runway 29. That's sort of standard runway at this airport. I always take off runway 29. We're doing the Evin 7 Golf departure, Ivina, and then we're arriving at 34 Macedonia, 34 on the Aliko 2 hotel arrival.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
Okay, very cool. So when he calls us, I'm hoping this light here lights up. Let's get the APU on while we wait. APU. Yeah, the cabin ready light works. The PA in use works. I've just not seen the call one functioning just yet. Anyway, we're getting distracted. Is it IRS aligned? Yes, it is. Let's enter the IRS position. There we go. Pretty handy actually that was. Departure. Runway 29. So it's come up with a departure, yes. Praise God, it's a miracle. Let's check that arrival. Okay, no arrivals programmed. It has given us the actual standard arrival procedure, which is good. It's just not giving us the runway. So runway 34. There's no ILS by the look of it, so we're a little bit looks like we're going to be hand flying this approach, guys. Welcome. As you can see there, 67% cargo, just about 88% fuel. Where's he sticking it though? He's sticking it in the sensor. We don't want that. We want it out of the sensor into the wings. Incredible. I'm considering downloading some extra things as well for it. Maybe some actual passenger loading simulation perhaps, so we can see people getting on board. Maybe some emergency services in case we have an emergency, because last night flying this aircraft and I suffered an engine failure, and I've actually just uploaded that video, so it should be available to watch. Let's close that. Let's keep this ready. Once the catering and cleaning is done, I'm going to load people on board. So now that's done, let's get people on board. We could try with the ATC. Can't be bothered. I just don't want to risk it. Usually VATSIM would do it, but again, this is VATSIM free flight today. Thank you to everyone who joined this video at the beginning. Just be bearing in mind it just take a while to get the aircraft started. That's standard procedure. I've seen people do
Ground flight
streams
deck
before.
fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. So I've seen people do streams before, and it takes them, you know, sometimes it can take them up to an hour just to do the start up. And if you've ever seen an A380 in real life, you'll know that that takes a very long time as well. That's a couple of hours before it even gets ready for taxi, and that's to do with the ground crew and things like that. So yeah, standard time, I think. So Pat's boiling, there we go, 1%, they're taking the time. Now we got a jetway attached. There's absolutely no need to have stairs at the back like that. Like the logic there doesn't make sense. Everyone should be boarding through the jetway. Let's just open the back door anyway. Let's make sure they get on board quickly.
Guys, the Leo's on board.
Fantastic. Cost index, as I said, was 23, so not a lot. And we have fuel. Block fuel is 10,757. I'm just looking at the planned fuel though. How much do we actually need for this route? Trip. Contingency 15 minutes, about 640 kg. Alternate airports 2,000 kg. And then over 3,000 kg on board. We've got a heck of a lot of extra fuel there. I did take an hour and a half worth of extra just in case we have to divert. $4736. Yes, we got quite a lot of reserves. 5.9, quite a lot. 23 in cost index. Cruising altitude. It's given us. I don't know if this is something just specific to delivery, but it's given us 36,000. It doesn't seem to go any higher than that. Insufficient fuel one. Well, planned fuel is 4.7. We got 10 on board, and it's still coming up insufficient. It might be a livery specific issue. I've not had issues before with a standard Zebo mod in terms of fuel. Like the block fuel we need for this is 10,757, 2.5 hours. I'm not sure how we've not got enough fuel on board. Taxi fuel, takeoff fuel, taxi fuel's on board. Everything's looking pretty good. I mean, we've got 1 hour 50 minutes of trip fuel, 1 hour 30 minutes of contingency, so yeah, we got plenty on board. That one is probably unnecessary at this point. Thessaloniki, never been. No, me neither. Macedonia and Croatia are very popular for holidays though. It'd be nice to get out to Croatia at some point and visit, you know, some of the Balkan brothers and sisters out there. Check if they go electric, you know. Can't believe the viewship peaked at the beginning of the stream. It's like people welcome in, of course. Jen Dobry, I keep saying it. Welcome in. If you are here and you're wondering why it's taking so long, it's normal. Do not panic. I mean, caught blind, we're only 23 minutes in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to experiment a little bit. So let's go on to realism, let's go on to loading time. You can do it real long or short, so I'm not sure. A long loading time, is that going to be longer than automatic? Well, I'm assuming long is automatic. Let's change it to short, realism. Let's get people rushing on board for that holiday. So everyone is very keen to go on board. There we go, 86%, 90, 9,500. Fantastic. I'm just waiting to see, is it going to show me the PA in use? Is it going to show me the cabin ready as well? Anyway, we need to get the fuel pumps. There we go. So PA does work, and she'll get the cabin ready for us. So what we're going to do is going to put some controls on. I'm going to start to get ready for the pushback.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
So in a situation like that, when she calls through, the call button should be illuminated, I think. When the cabin ready light illuminates, we press the button to correspond with them and make sure that they're aware that we know the cabin's prepared for landing. Anyway, let's get our takeoff stuff done. So I'm just going to go maximum rate today. 20. I might go takeoff 1 and climb 1 as well. And flaps, just a standard 5. 5.5% trim. 135 on V1.
Door has been closed. Once again, we do need all passengers to remain seated at this time. Please double check the security of your seatbelt. All electronic devices do need to be turned off and put away at this time. This does include all cellular phones and two-way pagers. Flight attendants, please prepare your doors for departure and cross-check.
Sorted. So fingers crossed the pushback works. Let's get a random score code. .603. Now new batter pushback. I've not used this one yet. Let's hope this works.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay, thank God. So I was in Russia yesterday on the game X-Plane 12 and we had a Russian accent on the pushback. There's no Polish accent today, which is unfortunate, but the pushback is working. I think the older version was just either hacked or bugged out because it wouldn't, obviously it wouldn't start. And there was no visual effect either. Let's check all the doors are closed. Doors are closed indeed. Let's get those magic squares open.
We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your
Don't want to hide them. Okay. So it's popped up on the side.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Awesome. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to Lot 203 flight to Thessaloniki. We hope you enjoy your experience with us today. Estimated cruise altitude will be 36,000 feet. We're expecting light, mild winds on takeoff and sunny, hot weather on arrival.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, fantastic. Let's check some of the systems working. Trim air on. Lifting us up there. Guiding us out onto the plane. Taxiway. Beacon lights on, flight control services pressurized. APU generators on. Let's disconnect ground power.
There are so many places to go in this world, and so many airlines that can take you there.
So we thank you.
For making the journey with us.
Thank you.
And now we'd like
Ground to cockpit.
Oh no.
Please show me where you want to go.
So delete my pre-plan there. I think we might have the same issue.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Fingers crossed it's not
Starting
broke.
pushback, and you may start engines.
Just waiting for it to push back before we go inside. Yes. So let's get those engines started. So typical, actually let's do this realistic. I was kind of in the mood last night to stick to it as realistically as I could. And what I realised is when I'm on streams I'm not doing it properly. So you wouldn't, like, sure you can start your engines when you're pushing back, but you'd wait, you could wait till you're on the taxiway. It's usually when you're on the taxiway, and then when you've got the all clear on the engines, you give them a thumbs up, and then they, you say you got the engine started, and then they'll disconnect. The reason is in case you can't start your engines, and they have to pull you back off the taxiway. Because it's pointless to start them when you go in push back, in case they don't start. And then it makes the whole journey of being pushed back pointless. So always get it done on the taxiways.
While remaining seated with your seatbelt fastened, quickly reach to the nearest mast and pull down firmly to start the flow of oxygen. Put the yellow patch over your nose and mouth. Lift the elastic band over your head and tighten by pulling the straps on either side. Breathe normally. Even though oxygen is flowing, the plastic bag may not inflate. Always put your own mask on first, and then help others near you.
A life vest is
Oh,
located
that's
under
well
the
close.
seat
Look at
or
that.
between seats. The safety
Look how close
instruction
you are
card
to that
shows the
wall.
exact location.
Blimey. Oof. Stop the pushback. Oh my goodness. No. Good God. I can't believe that she just pushed us back into that. So there's no intuition on the AI, on the pushback. We've almost gone into the bloody wall. We have slightly. And the wings as well. Oh goodness. Goodness gracious. So if you're ever coming to depart from Warsaw, I highly don't recommend parking at this spot because it's impossible to get out of it. Fantastic aircraft and a fantastic airport in general. I look at the detail on the car parks and the buildings. Like, the airport looks like the real wonders, so there's no complaints there. And the taxiways and things, absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. And then another spot down here for cargo, as you can see. I think that's DHL. Yeah, DHL and FedEx. So yeah, if you're going to come from this airport, go around one of these spaces or on the front. Don't go around the back. Terminate the thing. Let's get our engine started. So there we go. Cabin ready light has come on. That means cabin is indeed ready for takeoff. So we click the button to tell them we're good to go as well. Okay, click stop. Stop. Push back. Let's terminate it. Seems to be having issues disconnecting. I think this is something to do with the livery more than the actual pushback and aircraft. I don't know why it would be livery specific. Pushback is clearly gone stuck in that position. There we go. So it's vanished into thin air, as I expected it to do. And the 2 engine, we're ready to take off. Ready to taxi. Okay, 36,000 pressurization and Q and H. And 016. So it's already set the heading and the it's already set the heading things for us. Let's get going. I think that's standard time to start up as well. So 36 minutes to taxi, that's absolutely normal. Absolutely normal. So 36 minutes, so you get to the gate as we did about 1:30, and then that gives us half an hour till departure, which is actually very, very accurate to real world operations. You get to the gate typically half an hour before departure, or you'd start boarding half an hour before departure, which is very good to know we're on time. Make sure we go to the right runway for takeoff. Runway 29. So I think we're taking the blue line today. Let's take that blue line round to 29. left down echo. I can understand why people are afraid of flying. There's no doubt about it that if you are unused to being in control or something, in control you would not like it at all, but there's really nothing to worry about. Even I was a little bit nervous flying as a passenger because you're not in control of the aircraft yourself, so it's kind of a little bit different. You have to put your life in someone else's hands and into a machine. It can be overwhelming. Usually it's quite a lot of fun, as long as you know what's happening. You know, if someone can talk you through the process, it's a really enjoyable experience. So if you get a wing seat like this is probably one of the best views you could have in the plane. You can see the flaps, you can see the slats, the spoilers, the ailerons of course. You can see the winglets and the lights. And most of all, when you come into land, you'll be able to see the reverse thrusters. So, yeah. Oh, I should stop there indeed. So let's get some of this stuff on. Let's get our landing lights fully on. Taxi lights off, turn out lights on. Ignition is on continuous. There's no warnings. Let's just do a 100% check. So that'll be because there's no brake. The brake's on, so that's absolutely normal. There's no other indications though that it was. Let's just take the brakes off. Let's put full brakes on. There we go, so there's absolutely no issues with it. And we're ready to take off, so everything's working. Let's get going. Thessaloniki, here we come. And Makedonia, Warsaw. Line
80 knots.
check.
E1 rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
There's a very climb, gear up.
$400.
400 feet. Flaps to 1. Gear neutral. Takeoff rate off.
1,000.
1,000 feet. Flaps to 0. be like departing turn there to the south, to the west, and then we return south. Very bumpy on takeoff. Keep an eye on the weather. Okay, let's do an after landing, so turn the ignitions off, turn our lights off, retractable lights can come off. I'll leave the long distance landing lights on until about 10,000 feet. There's the transition altitude. Let's change the QNH to standard. One of the lights off. Seatbelt signs still on. Let's leave them on until we get to about 15,000, or at least until the weather's stabilised. We didn't have a quick look at the map, but that was our departure. You can see there to the west, and then we'll turn to the south. A few clouds, not many, so scattered broken clouds, a bit of both. No thermals, not to worry about at the moment. So yeah, we're cleared up to 36,000. Let's go ahead and initiate, pitch down slightly and initiate the autopilot. There we go. So everybody sit back, relax and enjoy the flight. Okay, like seatbelt signs are coming off. Bit of tandem core. going to step away from the cockpit and get myself a drink. Please feel free to do the same while we climb to 36,000 feet. Be right back. I have another flight planned. I'm back everybody. I have another flight planned actually, and another livery I downloaded. I don't want to spoil things, nothing too exciting, but this has certainly been an exciting flight. I think we're going to be doing Moscow to Tashkent as our new flight. So not in the LOT Airlines, but we'll try it in another airline livery. Probably already guessed, if it's from Moscow, you probably already know what livery it's going to be. If you put the, you could put it in chat actually. Comment in chat what you think the new livery will be. Nothing exciting. The new video. Actually, the new video's out. I didn't even realise. So the new videos have come out already. It was a little bit laggy, but we did an Aeroflot Boeing 737-800 emergency landing. I had an engine failure. I had, the engine shut down, the aircraft pressurization failed, the landing gear indication system failed, and we had to do a manual landing gear extension. So yeah, that was quite an experience. Brand new today, it just came out, so yeah, it'd be good if people watch the videos as much as the streams. And for the stream we'll be doing, oh no, not Moscow, it's going to be Novosibirsk to Tashkent. If you're wondering where Tashkent is, it's in Uzbekistan. checking the landing data. So when we get there, the QNH will be standard pressure 1013. So we want runway 34. There's no ILS approach. I don't know if we're going to have any RNAV approaches. It doesn't look like we do, so it's all hand flown. Just checking the runway length. It's given us 30 degrees of flaps for landing with max manual braking. So I'm assuming the runway is not that big. Well, it is quite big. It's 6,636. So that should, sorry, 7953. So very, very long indeed. Going over the fantastic city of Krakow in Poland, just down here, EPKK, Krakow, Belize. I have flown there before. I think I flew there in the 777 in flight gear a while ago. We have Katowice, can't pronounce it properly. So we're actually doing quite well on time already. What's this? Keys. Of course, to the south of us is Budapest and Hungary and things like that. Bratislava there. Well, first we've got to go through Slovakia, then Hungary, then we'll be passing through Serbia, and then eventually North Macedonia towards Thessaloniki.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, we've leveled off now at our cruising altitude.
There we are, everybody. 36,000 feet.
Like scheduling ask if you are saving your seatbelts comfortably fastened to your safety. Onboard computers on an on-time arrival.
That's such a cool feature to be able to have those lights in there.
Let's stay quiet up here. Have you enjoyed the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
Just wish this core bonus worked. Or indeed even a maintenance thing up here. Click on maintenance. You can already see from this distance and this sort of vantage point. Look at that. You can see on the map as well. Stormy, really stormy weather ahead. Just over to the left, you can see the clouds there. They're changing shapes and changing their sort of dynamics. So yeah, they're becoming storm clouds and potentially really deadly clouds at that point. So, severe turbulence, you know, rain, hailstorm, ice. All the bad stuff we don't want in the plane. So somewhere off to the right. Let's go over to the hard northeast position over here. There'll be a storm brewing up. might as well check in with everybody. How's everybody doing? Took a little bit of time away there just to examine a few things online. Hope you're well back there in the cabin. Not the most professional pilot announcement in the world, but we're all friends on this flight, aren't we? So just looking at the SID brief. Apparently weather's looking pretty clear in Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki is looking very nice down there in Macedonia. Let's check where we are in the world. Very clear though, it's very clear now. You can see all the ground below us. Just like generic, the same generic square, just over and over for about 1 million miles. How interesting. Anyway, yeah, so I think we're out of Slovakia. Oh no, we're over Hungary. We're already over Hungary. Wow, wow. Budapest is up there just to the north. Wait, saying Budapest. Oh, there's Budapest. So we could have done a stop off there. So next we'll be going over these Serbia, which is always nice. Serbia is a lovely place as well, and a very realistic route. I think LOT flies to this to Greece, Macedonia. Let me just check. So we're on a realistic route. In terms of the arrival, I did talk through it at the beginning. We have a runway 34, no ILS. Aliko, Alik to hotel arrival, so following the star procedures, which is just to follow the route as it is displayed in the altitudes and speeds. So from Warsaw, which is where we departed, they fly down to... They do fly this way, but they only go down by the looks of it. I can't quite see on the map if one of them zoom in, but it looks like... Oh, now there's a technical problem. I was going to say it looked like Macedonia on the map. Albania, Kosovo, Tirana. Yeah, so they fly this route in real life, Warsaw, Thessaloniki. It's a real route, just checking on the LOT airline site. That's so cool, isn't it? I'm going to check how much this costs. So it's saying there's up to 2 stops. You might have to change over. We want direct flights though. So 1 passenger for a round trip. Let's go one-way trip. We can't do one for this date. Oh, we can actually. Friday. Let's plan ahead. So let's say a couple of weeks from now. Very cool site, LOT, very easy to navigate. So it's coming up as £230, that's not bad. From Warsaw to Thessaloniki. And that's great British pounds there. So translate or convert that into Polish zloty and you have your answer. Business class, not that much more. Business is £372. Wow. They could fly to Thessaloniki from Warsaw, go business. 8 hours with 1 stop, or there's one for 5 hours return, which is coming back. Sorry, there's 1 flight, there's 1 hour, 1 stop at 5 hours, so make of that what you will. I'm going to post the link into the description so you guys to check it out. You can just plan your own trip on that site. Not had any anti-ice warnings yet. I was kind of hoping we'd get one by now. I've not turned the anti-ice on, if anybody's noticed, deliberately to just see if the alert comes up. Well, there was in fact an alert there, so TAI. So we turn the anti-ice on now to get rid of it. Basically TAI is just turn on the anti-ice. Ice has been detected, so we look out the window. You can't really see much here. Let's skip forward and have a look at the engine. Ice will be detected somewhere along this aircraft flow to give the warning. I get a good spot. So usually on the rim, on this part is where the anti-ice would form, the ice would form, and then this would warm up to smelt it off. Another way you can do it is you can actually do the pack air, so you can use the bleed air from the engines to go as a winged anti-ice as well, so that's pretty cool. It gives like a 2-in-1 function, so you turn it to anti-ice, it will do the same thing as the winged anti-ice to some extent. It's not as powerful though. Don't want to get sidetracked, but we're over Serbia, so might as well mention it. There is a place I believe it's Serbia, that has a really, really cool runway on the edge of a mountain, on the edge of a giant cliff. One sheer drop on one end and one on the other. Usually general aviation. I think it was unfortunately bombed, so it got destroyed at one point, but I think they may have repaired it. I can't remember the name of it. I just remember it was very... Oh, that was it. It was this airport. So I don't know how to pronounce that. I would say Uzici. Forgive me, Serbians, if that's incorrect. We're not too far from it, so one day I'm going to do... I came in at night, terrible weather in the Barren. Now if we zoom in, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So it's very, very peculiar at this airport. Like these taxiways and the airport is not even that secure. It's general aviation, we've got one space. This is not a commercial aviation airport, and if it is, it'll be smaller planes flying there. But yeah, we'll do a landing there one day. We'll land at runway 10. So the cliffs on this side, as you can see, the brown marking is the cliff side. Very steep drops on either side as well, so that's very cool. So we'll come back there. We'll do a flight to Zici from somewhere like Belgrade again, or even from somewhere a little bit more less known, like this one, or you know, we'll think of it on the day. There's plenty more flights to come. In terms of like this route, we're doing pretty well. Not going to descend just yet. Trying to see the top of descent. It looks like a simple way to do it is just to use the FMC, of course. So we're still at 36,000. We're actually descending pretty soon after Aliko. So Aliko's the arrival for Aliko 2 Hotel. Okay, so I'm saying arc left and arc left. That's in a 360, so we have to do a 360 turn. And you can even see that little pink mark on the map. Let me just examine that, because that could be an issue. So we get to the arrival at Aliko, and then it wants us to go, like, literally in an arc to the runway. I don't know how in the good God that's going to work. So we've basically got two options. We can either go to the left or to the left. To the left or to the right. So we come down here and go into the final, or we can go the other way. I think we're going to have to go right and then left. Well, it seems to want us to do both. It wants us to go left and then left again. But that's just going to take us in circles. We'll figure it out when we get there. I haven't done this approach before, so it's all new to me. Let's set our course for runway 34. I'm going to set the heading 34 as well. Now, usually because of the drift from the compass, it won't actually be heading 340. It might be heading 350 or 345, just because of that drift I was talking about. Even the compass up here is sometimes inaccurate. When you're turning, of course, the magnetic compass will never be 100% accurate in practice. So enunciation recall, we've double checked survival procedures. Let's just go for this. Landing altitude. Not very high up, so 23 meters. So we'll set that now on here. I'll put it to 50 and we'll let that do its job when it arrives. So we've done the system enunciation recall. VREF, we've not checked that. So I say the VREF is, in general, is pretty accurate. So 14, so 30 degrees of flaps. 154. There we go. change the minimums. Doing it a little bit different. We're going to go for 250 on barometric today. Navigation radio, right, let's get the ILS frequency from SimBrief. Thank you for bearing with me, everybody, during this flight. It has been a long one. And thankfully, I've been in the future. The stream to the YouTube is actually quicker than my streaming software, so fantastic. Okay, landing data for runway 34. I'm not looking for the ILS frequency. Cough cough, I am. Like a fool. I said it a million times as well, there's no ILS. Right, 1 hour 50 on the stream time, and it's 3:30 GMT, so we've got about half an hour to go, which means descent is imminent. If you are new here, you can expect Monday, Wednesday and Friday regular streams, although I usually stream off times as well, so Tuesday, Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays occasionally. Please join me in the future. Let's return to the checklist. So nav radios we don't actually need. It would be good if we had like an ADF frequency or something. We won't say the auto brake till we descend, so let's check that off. Now, one thing it would be cool to do is delete the arrows that point to them, so let's try and find that. I have no idea how to do it. Cool feature down here, usually on this little plain plaque, there'll be a cell call number. I had it on the other delivery that I was trying out, so it says yes, but there's no cell call number on it. find this. I am assuming you're still here. Where would you like me to fly? I have a pre-planned route for Monday, but where would you like me to fly in general? Because I'm willing to do it. Would you still like me to fly from Svalbard? I'm happy to fly from there in a 737. Or anybody else watching, even on replay, please comment down below where would you like me to fly in the 737. Hello Finders, good to see you still here, very good to have you Friday. I know this weekend will be great for you, and hopefully the rest of us as well. Us miserable English people, we've got to make do with being careful what we say at the moment, so we can't have much fun at the moment, at least until Monday when everyone's going back to work and we can only joke about how little coffee's in the office. So I'm thinking if you still want Svalbard, we could do Svalbard. Now it'd be a long flight because it's so isolated, but I want to go somewhere like cold, so maybe we could do, because then we'd have to do de-icing on the ground, we'd have to do a holdover, we'd have to do all the rigmarole. So Svalbard to somewhere like Iceland, quite a long way, but it looks like it'd be worth it. Or we could go to Greenland as an alternative. Heck, we could even go to part of Russia near the Barents Sea, Yuzhny Island, if there's an airport available. Yes, from Svalbard to Iceland, capital of Iceland, which I can't say, is 2,138 kilometres. Now, I'm not keen on spoiling anything for the future, but I may buy the 747, because that would be a challenge and a half, wouldn't it? 747. Svalbard to Iceland. We could either go in the old version, so we could go in the classic 747-200, I think it is, or we could go in the 747-800. I'm really tempted actually by the 747-800, it looks fantastic. And at the moment they've got 30% off, so it's $41. We got an air conditioning issue. It tripped out. Yes, it has. Now we're depressurising. Now this has happened before. Don't worry about that, everybody. We are slightly depressurising. Okay, let's get this sorted out. We got a little bit of an urgent issue here. Check the iOS. Okay, navigation, COM2 radios failed. Great. Is the aircraft depressurising? Got duct pressure. Got bleed air on. Oh my god, we're descending. Oh my goodness. That needs to go back to 0. Anyway, going back to this issue. This has happened before. You click script to reset now. Too much pressure in the system is one possibility. blockage over the output, so it's going in, it's not getting out. Duct pressure went to 0 now. Get rid of it, just put the packs on high. That can help the problem, prevent it from happening in the first place. So in a situation like that, depressurization wouldn't be rapid, but it would be like you'd feel the effects of it pretty soon if you didn't do anything about it, you know, because the pressure would drop at 500 feet a minute. The cabin's only pressurized about 9,000 feet. There's some LHR to PMI. Okay, so London Heathrow Airport to PMI, where's that? PMI Airport. I think I'm gonna just dedicate myself to buying that 747, and then it won't be on the Monday stream. The Monday stream we got the 737 new livery. We still got the Trans-Siberian Airways adventure to complete, but we'll add the addition of the 747 for next Wednesday. Not next Wednesday, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So it won't be next Wednesday, it'll be the Wednesday after, so the 11th, or even the Monday the 9th. Yeah, not next week, the week after, we'll do the 747 to... we could do Mallorca in the 747, I guess, Mallorca. So it's just over 1,000 miles. I think a 747 would be a good plane for it. I'm just looking at the airport to make sure it's big enough to accommodate us. Yeah, it looks pretty big. And then we could do things like London to Moscow, London to wherever. We could even do London in the 747, London to Shanghai. That's how long we can fly for. A stream special, like 12-hour stream where we just fly halfway across the world. Let's just check the distance for that. Shanghai International Airport. Now, China has really temperamental weather. It's usually got things like hurricanes or monsoons, are they called over there? And that route's 7,400 miles, so quite the distance. We may have to do a stopover somewhere, maybe in Turkey to refuel. Or in Latvia. Yeah, so thanks for the suggestion, Finders. Also, I'm going to consider doing London to Shanghai and London or Manchester to somewhere like Hong Kong. Very cool. We should fly into China more when I get the 747. 737's great and Zebo mod. Well, the Zebo mod's like the one that you should get. You shouldn't even bother with the default version. The default version was very poorly assembled, to say the least. Absolute bare minimum, and not even that. So let's run through some of the checks. Let's do an annunciation recall again. Let's get prepared to land. So there's top of descent. We've got a break in the flight plan. Let's clear that up. I've got what is that there? That's... I have no idea what's going on. Oh my goodness. Right, let's try that. And try and keep ourselves... Like, that is the most bizarre flight route plan I've ever seen. Absolutely crazy. I don't know if we're going left, right, or what. I think we're going right, and then we're going to go right on the circle. The only thing I can think of is that this pink line is for the go-round, but usually it would be in blue. Well, yeah, we're going to have to descend down to 3,000 feet. I think it's to do with the airport itself. It must be a difficult place. So I set it for 12,000 feet as I usually do. Let's go 13 in case. Give us time to assess the terrain and things. Okay, so it looks like we've taken the straight through to Alico there. Systems fasten your seatbelt signs on, ready for descent.
With your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
There's the descent. Right, on schedule. So we did well. Right, so PNUs, we just told them to prepare for landing, so when it's ready, cabin ready light will illuminate as it did on takeoff. So yeah, the hydraulics we did well. We didn't get an overheat warning throughout the entirety of the flight. Maybe it's because we turned that on. Why has the duct pressure suddenly dropped as well? So this is very peculiar. It's not gone down to 0, it's just gone down very, very low. So this would indicate there's definitely something going on in the engine intakes. This is a little bit concerning. In terms of the pressurization, like we are descending now. Are we depressurizing? I think we might be too fast, because I know we're going down, but this... Like usually this altitude would be still about 9,000 feet, 8 or 9,000. I guess it is at that, but it just looks wrong, especially with that duct pressure being so incorrect, and plus we had, you know, a navigation COM2 radio failure, so this thing down here completely completely unworkable at the moment. We turned the packs onto high, we turned it back on automatic. Let's trip reset again. So that trip reset isn't doing anything. I'm just thinking it could be an ice formation, because when I looked out the wing it looked awfully shiny. Here we are, everybody, we're in the Macedonian territory. Aristotle Tower, Alexandria Tower, Alexandria Airport, Makedonia. We are so close to the airport, I can't believe we descended this late. Only 1-3 standard pressure. We do have a tune navigation 1, we'll follow the thing down, but from a descent point of view we should have descended probably way back, like way up here before we even got into Macedonia. So yeah, prepare for landing everybody, we're about to do this. Let's get the spoilers out, slow down as much as we can. See, the navigation 1 is functional on the taking that right hand turn. Hopefully it's going to continue right, and then there's quite a steep turn there to final. Still very, very high up. Let's get some flaps. Left to flat, just to bring that speed down. I'm hoping the engine's going to idle themselves in a second. The engine's just saying idle, we're still getting about 40% and 1. Pressure's building up as well. I think there may have been an ice build up in the engine somewhere because the intake's reduced. No failures came up. That's just, you know, this is obviously not failed yet. It's just having issues, and now the strobe lights have completely broken. So it's all going wrong. Okay, so strobe light broke, but we have the one on the right side still functional. Very confusing. So it says there the strobe light has failed. I can't see where, because the wind strobes are still working. Oh, blimey. I'm sorry about this. I genuinely think we may have to go around at this point, because the approach is just absolutely awful. And the rush, look how short the runway is. Alright, let's tune nav 1 to that. Oh my goodness. Let's assume we're going to land. Now we're going to be able to turn out an A4, so we turn out Alpha 4 and we'll probably park up over there at the gate. completely clouded over. And we shouldn't have power on, we should be idling the engines at this rate. Flaps 5, we'll put auto brake on to max. I'm going to try and figure out what we're doing on if we need to go around, which is probably likely at this rate. Right, well, we'll just put flaps down. How many flaps does it want? We don't have a go-around thing on here. There's nothing there at all for go-around. So I'm assuming, like I said before, we go to the circle and we just carry on round the circle again. Unless it's going to continue round the circle. Yeah, I thought so. The circle is to lose. Okay, here we go. This is making sense now. So basically we've come down into an arc formation. This is the most peculiar approach I've ever done. We'll reduce the spoilers. Absolutely bizarre though. So yeah, one arc to come round and descend. We'll go around the arc, at which point we'll come round once again and then join final. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Really hope it does. So yeah, there's that arc continuation. I'm going to put speed on to 200. So 154 is the reference landing speed with 30 degrees of flaps. Absolutely bizarre this approach, but it's kind of fantastic in a way. It's like it gives us plenty of time to get down and explore the mountains. It's just never ever done this kind of thing before on the simulation. Let's go ahead and retract the flaps. Bring that speed back up. Now we know that we've got plenty of time to go. Okay, there's that call from the cabin, so cabin ready. Show you from the co-pilot seat. We have a blue illuminated light, cabin ready, so we'll click that to confirm. We confirm, and the cabin is indeed depressurizing at a rate that we don't really want it to depressurize. Still no look on the packs, there's still no increase there in the pack. I turned that off, it went up. Let's turn it back on high. There we go. So I turned the wing anti-ice off and left the bleed air to do the anti-ice effect. Right. Do our descent checklist. I think we've already done it. Let's double check. So descent. Yep. Extend the lights, preparation for landing. through the cloud base. It's really fantastic. Absolutely looking beautiful in Makedonia. Yes, find this. That was the airport I was thinking of. Keflavik, Iceland. Doing very well on views as well. It's good to see so many people in the stream on a Friday. Hope you've, if you have flown LOT Airlines before, give me a shout. Where have you flown to? Where have you flown from? What's your favourite airline? What's your favourite plane? Favourite airport, etc. Do you play X-Plane, or are you more of a Microsoft Flight Simulator kind of person? Always good to interact with people. Okay, that explains it. So we're flying the DME ARC at the moment. That makes sense. That is a real procedure in real life, flying the DME ARC. My brain just didn't want to connect it, but it's obviously right there in front of us, the DME. And we've got a DME there for another ARC. So very cool. So we came down, we're doing the Thessaloniki DME. We also have Mikra there. So we fly the ARC, we fly around, we get to about 1.5 on the circle, at which point we'll turn into the airport, runway 34. And we've got a nice strong headwind there, about 9 knots. There it is. Nope, that's not it. There's an airport though. There it is. 3-4. We're going to come out of this exit just over here. We're going to literally speed off into the terminals. Some really cool things to look at. There's a massive, obviously, town, a city there. On the edge you got the cool looking waterways. Use the hood for the captain. If you're not sure what that is, we see this thing appear on the overhead panel. We click it down. Now we can see like a fighter pilot through the green blue lights. Let's turn it up a little bit. So we're going to use that for landing at the airport. Landing lights on, auto brake set to maximum. Let's get some flaps down, so we've got flaps 1 initially. Ignition can be continuous now. I know we're going to going into that airport pretty quickly. We're already at 9,500 feet, en route for 3,000. Just off to our left. Spoilers armed. Let's double check the air conductor. So everything's looking pretty good on there. There's a bit more pressure, there's not as much as I would have expected. We'll get the anti-ice off. It's actually quite warm already. We're already at 7 degrees at 9,000 feet. Latch to 5. Need to create that drag. Double check the reference speed, so 154 still seems to be the speed we're landing at. Change the pressure settings. We are already in 1013, which is standard pressure setting. Local temperature is 9 degrees already. When we get down, it's probably going to be more like 15 to 20. Flaps to 15. Bring that speed down. So hopefully the reference speed that we put in will pop up on there. We have got a reference down here of 154, so hopefully the FMC VNAV programs it incorrectly. It's 15 degrees of flaps. I'm going to stick the gear down in a second. 12 nautical miles to the runway. Straight in approach. There it is. Just to confirm and just to prove it again, we are landing here without an IFR, without an ILS system. The other runways do have it. Maybe we're better off landing on runway 16, but the one we're landing on doesn't actually have it. So. All hand flown this approach.
Thousand to go.
So the checks, ground proximity check, flaps and things, checklists. Fixed landing lights on, yes, yes and yes, we've done that. Manual at this point. An arch of flaps, so I'm going to put the gear down in a second. Very high nose on this approach. There's the reference speed, 152, it's coming about. Gear down. Just within 5 nautical miles. Flaps 30 to keep this on track. We take the auto throttle off, so we're flying it entirely manually. I like to call it that. Use that for us there just to bring us our descent rate down to a good level. We need to be descending a little bit faster than this. maintain that speed. We're not quite gliding.
Approaching minimums.
Think
200.
Think rate. Think rate.
Continuing.
Think rate.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Let the brakes do the work. No need for the reverse.
80 knots.
The manual brake in there as well. There's that high speed exit I was talking about. Whoa. You hear those wheels skid at the end as well. We have to do an emergency brake. Blimey. Does this spoilers work? Yes, they did. I think we had a bit of an issue with the controller. Yeah, not bad at all. We had a few concerning warnings there at the end, but nothing too severe.
Thank you for flying with us today. We hope you've had a pleasant experience, and we look forward to welcoming you again on another flight.
Alright, let's just stop here for a second so we can establish where we are. Double checking everything is working externally. Flaps can be retracted. Let's get the APU on. Looks like we got a lot of planes in the spaces already. Quite a busy airport. We have a 747 777s as well. Some kind of emergency services in the background. And an old US Air Force aircraft. Let's have a look at the map. We want to be able to park up sufficiently. So we'll follow Charlie and we'll just see what appears around the corner. Is APU on? APU, look at that. Well hot that was. Yeah, about 24 degrees here as well. Very, very warm. Let's get that pitot heat off. Window heat can come off as well. Ah, there we go. There's some more spaces. I think everyone is like literally taking there's no spaces. Everybody here is taking up the available spaces. There's one here that we may be able to slip into. It's not a proper terminal, so let's do this. Let's do this. Should come off. Like that. Forgive me, we didn't use the overhead hood thing, but you can always imagine for the future what it's going to be like. Control services off. Not a full shutdown, we're just going to do a shutdown to standby. So packs are off, control services are off, fuel bumps, text lights off, APU is on, beacons are off. So let's check out the landing, we'll check out the rating, and we'll check out the replay as well. So weak approach, not surprised, and a good landing. Well, those are definitely not as accurate as they could be. We got no buses coming for the passengers, so it's a bit concerning. Fuel's off, beacon lights are off. Can't even select ground services. The forward entry is locked. Okay. Are they going to unlock it? Here the bus is. Let's watch them unlock the doors. There we go. Okay, I think that LOT open. Yeah, thank you for flying with LOT Airlines today. And joining me for this fantastic flight. Thank you to Findus, thank you to anyone else who watches me on replay, and to all the regulars. Before we leave, let's check the replay and then we can get shutting down officially. So toggle replay mode, there may be a lag, and let's see how brutal that was on the gear. Slight lag on this. It's just the X-Plane replay, it's not the actual game that's lagging, it's just the replay mode. So here we are, coming into land. Let's get a good view of it. Gears coming down. Land. Still runway 34. High sync rate and that's probably what gave us a bad late landing rate and it's the runway. LOT Airlines. Slightly off centre line by the amazing city, the amazing airport, Thessaloniki. LOT Airlines just cruises in. There we go. Good rate of descent, good angle. Great angle. Maintain it. There we go, centre line. Just slightly off the centre line. Smooth touchdown nonetheless. Wow, that was actually pretty impressive. I'm quite happy with that landing. So yeah, have a fantastic evening, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the flight. We'll see you next Monday when we're doing a 737 from from Novosibirsk to Tashkent in Uzbekistan. So have a great